hot topic of the hour. California Governor Gavin Newsom suing the Trump administration again, this time over the deployment of 300 California National Guard personnel to Oregon. A federal judge blocked the order late last night, and Newsom went right on X saying this: "We just won in court again. A federal judge blocked Donald Trump's unlawful attempt to deploy 300 of our National Guard troops to Portland." The move coming just one day after a federal judge blocked the president's order to deploy Oregon's National Guard troops in Portland. And then in Chicago, police reportedly have been ordered not to respond after a car ramming attack on federal agents. Department of Homeland Security says agents were boxed in by 10 cars. While protests grow, 5 more arrests have been made there. And in Portland, a police sergeant appearing to criticize 3 counter-protesters for antagonizing anti-ICE protesters. Here's the president on Oregon City yesterday.
Portland is burning to the ground. You have agitators, insurrectionists. The governor, the mayor, the politicians are petrified for their lives. And you have a judge like that, that judge ought to be a king of them.
What a mess, Liz. President Trump is trying to effect change, and these states and cities want to go against him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I've ever seen a situation where local law enforcement is told to stand down as federal law enforcement comes under attack, Maria. And make no mistake, what has happened in some of these cities, ICE agents are under attack, and they're being harassed and also attacked, for example, in Dallas recently by gunshot. I mean, I don't know what these guys think they're playing at. I think they feel that just opposing Donald Trump lifts their local stock in terms of public opinion. But this is offensive and it's wrong. And I'm not really sure why a judge would basically decide that federal troops are not allowed to come in and help.
You go there and you talk to the people on the ground, Kenny. They all want President Trump's help. They want the National Guards to lay the law down and stop the crime.
It's unbelievable to me, because you're right. The citizens want it, yet the elected politicians are telling us, oh, there's nothing to see here.
Yeah,
we're good. We don't want anybody's help. Meanwhile, the place is burning. And why they allow these ICE agents to get boxed in and nobody's doing anything about it is just, it's beyond me. I mean, I think it's unlawful, and it's just beyond me that they're told to stand down like that.
Meanwhile, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee is praising the federal government's crackdown on crime in Memphis. AG Pam Bondi says that 273 arrests have been made there. In just under a week, 73 illegal guns have been seized. Here's the president yesterday. Watch.
Now we're in Memphis. We're doing the same thing in Memphis, and we're going to Chicago. You know, we have a governor that thinks it's wonderful when 50 people in a short period of time were murdered in Chicago. Over 200 people were hit. And so we send in the National Guard. You know what? We send in what's ever necessary. People don't care. They don't want crime in their cities.
Now, in Texas, it's a different story. Governor Greg Abbott says his troops are ready to go and could be sent to help the crackdown efforts. He writes this on X: "I fully authorize the president to call up to 400 members of the Texas National Guard to ensure safety for federal officials. You can either fully enforce protection for federal employees, or you can get out of the way and let Texas guards do it." This is coming as Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker told the president to stay out of Chicago and the entire state. He wrote on X, "There is no reason a president should send military troops into a sovereign state without their knowledge, consent, or cooperation." What is he talking about, Liz, without their knowledge? They are all aware of what President Trump wants to do.
Yeah, I mean, you have the knowledge. The question is they're still adamantly opposed to it. But Chicago really is sort of the poster child here for allowing wanton murders. I mean, President Trump's right. Over any long weekend, you get regularly 25 to 50 people being killed, Maria. And by the way, it's almost always mostly minorities. So how is this something that is politically winning for the governor or the mayor, by the way, that hapless Mayor Brandon Johnson of Chicago? It can't be. And by the way, polling shows Americans still consider crime a top issue for voters in the United States. This has not been solved. It's still on the table for most Americans, and President Trump is going to win this argument.
And I think New York feels a little better, but why does it feel better, Kenny? Because President Trump secured the border is why it feels better.
Right, 100%, 100%. And I don't understand why people in Chicago, the elected officials say we're fine, Pritzker and Johnson, yet the citizens are screaming for help. It's as if they're trying to say, the elected officials saying, oh, there's nothing to see here, yet the citizens are screaming for help. And I think the same thing is going to happen in New York if we get what we're going to get.
But Maria, in New York, you had Kathy Hochul brought the National Guard in to make the subways rideable again because they were so unsafe.
Right.
So this is not just a Donald Trump idea; it's something that works.
Right.
So everybody forgets that Hochul brought the National Guard in. Suddenly, conveniently, that's forgotten.
Yeah.
Great point, Liz.